Hello, everyone. My name is Andreas Diaz. Me and Will and I are back again for another spectacular Marvel Plus talk. And today is a big one. Of course, we got another major Spider-Man slash Marvel movie to discuss. It's podcast. So heads up, this is Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse spoiler cast. So me and Will are gonna go in-depth discussion on this movie. So if you don't want to hear anything spoilerly from us, just click back again. Click back after you've seen the film and come back and hear this before you uh, finish the whole movie and all that. Anyway, so Will, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited to discuss Spider Verse with you. Uh, I mean, oh my god, it's been 5 years since we saw Spider Man into the Spider Verse. Can you believe that?
Now it feels like it just kind of flew by.
Exactly, it flew by. Yes, it did. Oh my god, I cannot believe it. I, I don't know. Let's kind of get into our opinions on the first film before we get into the sequel. I mean, it's been universally said that I think Spider Verse is the best comic book superhero film of all time. I don't know. Was not getting into rankings and all that, but like it's up there. Will, that's the best superhero movie.
It's definitely up there. And I'd want to think about it more before I said it was the best, but it's definitely
Hmm.
in contention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I can confidently say to the folks that this is my Spider Verse was my personal favorite Spider-Man film. It's still number one. Uh, I I don't know, when we get into it, it's like it's tough because after seeing this movie, it's like I think Cross the Spider Verse is my number one favorite Spider-Man film now.
Mhm.
So, but we'll get into that. So yeah, but yeah, it's crazy that we are here today discuss the sequel that all of us love. Let me say that. And yeah, so first, overall opinion, what you thought about Across the Spider Verse? Is it as good as the first film? Uh, do you like it? You don't like it? Go ahead.
I did like it a lot. I don't think it's as good as the first one.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, for a reason that we can get into later. But I think in a lot of ways it's just as strong. Um, so it was definitely a worthy sequel. And I really enjoyed it. Um, yeah, the visuals were still incredible. It's
So that.
easily the best for any animated movie. Just everything feels so unique but intentional and um, just beautiful. Um, there's so many little details that you notice throughout the movie, and I'm sure there's 20 times more that I just missed because I couldn't look every single place on the screen.
Oh my
So
God. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to rewatching this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, it just really well done, really well made. It just I thought the writing was excellent. All the characters felt um, like fleshed out, and um, they were strong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I only really had one complaint, but I think we should hold off on that until after you've said what you liked about the movie.
Sure. So okay, so I oh my god, I really love this movie. It's one of the best superhero films of this year. Let me say that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I thought it was incredible. I'm actually kind of glad. I don't know if you did this yesterday or you had time, but I'm very happy I rewatched Spider Verse before I saw the sequel, and I thought this was a great was a continuation of the story of Spider Verse,
Hmm.
and I having a tough time to say if it's better or like it's better or equally as good as the first one, which it is. I definitely want to watch it to uh um by like fully accept that maybe this is the best film of Spider-Man, because I don't know. I was kind of curious to like just get this out of the way. Like, was your theater packed? Oh my god, my theater was.
Yes.
Oh my god, the theater
Yes, it
was
was.
packed. Oh my god, the kids. I I mean, I've been to packed theaters before, but this was like I never saw like the age. Like I think it was Falling Two. Like a couple of years ago, um I saw a bunch of kids like different age ranges. This was like
Hmm.
I saw like all age ranges and race too. Like I was like shocked about that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it was like so surreal, and but it just shows how important Spider Verse is and Miles and that.
Hmm.
And then obviously the other Spider Mans. They're not only different, but they're from different nationality. Like we see that through this movie this time around.
Hmm.
Um, oh my god, it was just crazy. Especially towards the end of the movie when I don't know if your audience reacted to this, but when they tell you that this is going to be continue and then beyond the Spider Verse, my audience were like, no, like they really wanted this. They just really wanted to see the story like end properly, and like it
Yep. Yeah.
and yeah, but in such a good way they did it, and I think like everyone's pumped for the next movie. Um, oh my god, this was such a fun movie. I really enjoy it. I mean, it just like you brought up the visuals, the animation, like they still top notch, like the
Hmm.
first one, but so much uh ambitions, which is great. You seeing that this team are very ambitious on their animation style,
Hmm.
because after Spider Verse, you saw like a lot of the animation movies have taken not the same, but like took inspirations of their animation style. Like
Yeah.
of course, Puss in Boots, Last Wish has done that. The Mitchells versus Machines, we saw that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, Korean, we saw those two. Uh, and those two, especially the Mitchells, Sony Pictures animation film, taking inspiration from this movie, and it's great to see that this team have not forgotten that, and they really pushed the envelope on every like style and uniqueness from the Spider Verse universe that we drop in and out.
Hmm.
Like Gwen's her universe when we get we introduced to her, like it was so cool that her universe is like sort of like her comic book, and like it's
Yeah.
like paint, like, what do you call it, paint, like wet
Like
paint,
watercolor.
watercolor, yeah, like
Yeah.
that. I that was really neat and like was so beautiful and like so pop with the colors, and it's
Yeah.
incredible.
No, I really appreciated that as someone who's read a lot of the Spider Gwen comics. They just really nailed the aesthetic of Earth 65.
Yeah. Oh my god. I this made me want me to this made me want to buy Spider-Gwen comics. I don't know why I haven't done that. So I
Yeah, no, they're good.
oh oh my god. Yeah. So oh my god, that was great. The um the Indian Spider-Man,
Yeah,
that
another one of my like favorite like um, alternate Peter Parkers in the comics.
yeah,
I was really excited when I saw that he was going to be in this. So,
yes. And it's voiced by our favorite sidekick from Deadpool.
oh,
Uh
that was I forget the actor's name.
yeah,
I knew I recognized the voice.
yes, here I got the Spider-Verse. His name is uh, Karan Soni, who played Dump Dumper
Dopinder.
the Plimpton, yes, from the Deadpool movies,
Hmm.
all three of them. He was great. He was such a great addition. I just love when we got his like comic interjection and like
Hmm.
I cannot believe they went this way of like Mayo saying was it TT and he
Yeah,
said it wrong.
Shy T. It was a nice callback to the ATM machine bit from before.
Oh,
Um,
oh my god.
yeah, just really solid writing.
Oh my god. They're so good here. Oh my god. Yeah, it's great. The animation there was incredible. Like I thought we were at like I thought this was like actual city, but I didn't realize they actually mixed the Indian city into Manhattan and they merged
Yeah,
that. Like that's such a cool way. And
yeah.
I oh my god. Oh my god, it's so cool. Oh my god. Yeah, so that and then the Nava New York, that's the futuristic one.
Yeah,
We get
from
to see that.
Spider-Man 2099.
That's where Miguel comes from, right? That's his.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Because I was wondering it was that because the fact that they call it Nava New York, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah. So like that was like see that like I thought I was like Elysium. I don't know if you've seen that movie. Like it reminded me of that. Like I thought I was in like a live action movie, but
Uh-huh.
when we saw all the various Spider-Man uh people from
Hmm.
the Spider Verse, it's like, oh well, yeah, we're in the animation movie. It just tells you how much the animation like really blends so well. Like you cannot tell at times they're like live action or not. So
Yeah, yeah.
I just really expect that. Um, yeah. So there was just so much. I, there's so much to talk about this movie. It's like crazy. Um, big surprises that I were expecting. Um, I I get I wasn't expecting to see Donald Glover as the Prowler.
Yes. That was
That
the big surprise.
yeah, I wasn't expecting that. That was such a cool cameo,
Hmm.
and I like I cannot believe they actually did it. But I was like, of course, after we get past that, they connected to the other Spider-Man films with um,
Yeah.
Homecoming and so Toby and Andrew and all that. Um, and well, and then of course when the spot you know jumps, he goes to Lego Spider-Man, which was
Hmm.
funny. And then he goes to Miss Chan from the Venom movie. I was like, "What?"
Oh,
I
is that who that was?
yeah, that's
I haven't seen the Venom movies.
oh.
Um, so
Okay.
I figured it was someone from a Spider-Man movie. I thought I was like failing to remember some recurring character from like the Raimi movies. I feel better now that it's from a movie I haven't seen.
Yes. Okay. So let me explain to the viewers. Will haven't seen the Venom movies, which is fine. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not missing.
Yeah, no. That's why I didn't see them. They didn't look good.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not look good. You're lucky because I have to see it like in theaters, and
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah. So I actually this part I actually got spoiled in YouTube, so I'm kind of glad because I don't
Mm.
care about the Venom stuff. Yeah. So this is Miss Chan. She works at a cook store where
Hmm.
Venom and Eddie goes there to get food, and why not for the first two films. Yeah. So that's the big cameo there. Very very funny. Uh, but yeah, but besides that, the Power one was the big surprise there. The big surprise was the Spire, uh, the 42 and
Hmm.
going to
Hmm.
an Earth dimension that I wasn't expecting. Uh,
Yeah, that was a good twist.
yeah, very neat. I was like, I I didn't notice this, but Miguel's mom had green eyes in that Earth 42,
Hmm.
where in his dimension, um, actually, I have it here. His our Miles dimension is Earth something. Earth. 1610.
Right, the ultimate
Yeah, the
universe,
oh, that's the Ultimates number.
isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I can't remember if they put the number for Ultimates.
I'm
Let me
pretty
check.
sure.
But yeah, so from that dimension, from Earth 16110, I mentioned Miguel's mom's eyes there are brown. So if you didn't pick that up, that you knew you were in a different parallel universe. Which was
And right before he got sent back, when the machine like detected his DNA, it said Earth 42.
Yeah.
So I knew he was on the wrong Earth the whole time because it said it on the
That's
the screen before he got sent back.
Whoa, buddy, you actually got it right. Yeah, Ultimate Universe is Earth 16
Yeah, I remember that from I remember they did that in the first movie too.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, there's so many details. I cannot keep up. Yeah. So that's Miles Earth. If you knew that from the first one. But yeah. Yeah. The idea of seeing Miles being the power is not a far fetched idea. I think like that's something you can easily do if you're not going to use Aaron for like a film or something like. So if you already used Aaron before, that was like a cool twist to do that. Making Miles.
Yeah, it made sense.
Yeah, it really makes sense. Sorry, I was drinking my Gatorade. But it was crazy, like hearing the flower theme. I mean, Miles, that's the flower, like costume, all that looks really neat. It's different from his uncle. Yeah. So I guess wait, I wanted to bring up this one thing that I really appreciate about this movie is something I feel like a lot of sequels failed to do, and I think what Cross the Spider-Verse did was to expand your universe and continue the arcs that you established with your characters in a very meaningful way. And if you want it to be darker, not try to do Dark Knight like really bad way of Dark Knight, but try to be consistent from what you established your tone. Spider-Verse really did that. Like this movie still feels like Spider-Verse. You still have the comedy, but like we're a little more serious now with the tone. And it's really impressive that how they did it was so effortlessly. Like I really appreciate that. And I went this with Chris yesterday actually, and I mentioned this to him. It was funny to hear curse words. Like Miles that say ass one time. I was like kind of shocked to hear that in a animation movie. I know this is PG, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can get away a lot of things from animation movies. Uh, but it was funny to hear that and just talk about death and then just the way the cons like the the constitution like people telling you that this is how it had to be. It's no way out to do it. Like I really appreciate how the stakes are high. And for Miles and his friends, and I really appreciate that we were sort of consistent about that. And then one thing that this sequel does well, that I was really impressed was, a lot of movies do the retroactively moments, like like in Guardians Volume 2, like we didn't know who was Peter's dad and like what kind of type of alien that Peter was going to be, so. Obviously, we got revealed that he was a celestial, like a half celestial human being, and all that, or like how Spider-Man 3, like actually told us that Sandman was the one that killed Uncle Ben,
right,
all that. This is one of the best examples to do that. Like, I really like the idea that the Spider 42 that bit Miles wasn't from his dimension. And that actually lines up if you rewatch the first film, because when I rewatch it, the spider did glitch. Like
right, yeah.
So I really appreciate that retcon and retroactively thing. It's one of the best I've seen because especially MCU, like some of it retroactively doesn't work. But here, like I was so impressed how Cross the Spider-Verse did it, and I
Hmm.
really appreciate that. What do you think about making the spider not from his dimension and all that? Will?
Yeah, I mean, it made a lot of sense. I liked that that seemed to be like the source of all the different multiversal incursions throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it just made sense. Like that's what I had assumed watching the first movie because the spider had glitched, and it had come from um, Alchemex where they were working on the portal.
Mm, yeah.
But I hadn't considered that. Just the idea that like that spider not being in Earth 42 meant that Earth 42 didn't have a Spider-Man was a really nice twist.
Yes.
And that Miles had like taken someone's place or something. Um, that was a really good twist. That adds like a nice extra layer
To his.
to his character, his arc, his yeah. I'm looking forward to exploring that more in the third movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really shocking, and it makes sense too. When
Hmm.
we get introduced to Miguel Spider-Man 29.
Hmm.
He wasn't supposed to be. If he didn't become Spider-Man, his version of Peter, like could have been dead. Like he should like actually could have been survived and actually
Hmm.
able to shut down the machine company or whatever
Right.
that opened the portals. So like but instead Miles is in the way and it went down where it had to be. So
Hmm.
so yeah, so it's really great. Retroactively. Yeah, because I don't know. For some reason I didn't put two together when I rewatched it yesterday. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny that it's glitching like the spider people, and then
Hmm.
yeah, makes sense. So I was just impressed because like I don't think if you saw the spider being Miles, like you didn't think to it too. If like that was from another dimension, so it was neat that this movie did to rest that. So
Hmm. Yeah.
you like you and some people probably caught very quickly.
Yeah.
So
I just hadn't thought anything of it like
mhm.
before. Um, I hadn't thought that there would be any significance to it being from another dimension. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, I really liked how every plot element in this movie felt like a direct effect of the plot of the first movie. Like it really did feel like a continuation rather than just like another story with a lot of the same characters,
yes, yeah, I agree.
which I really appreciated that. I like when sequels do that.
Yeah, me too. That's why Superman 2, The Dark Knight, Winter Soldier really works. And X-Men, Days of Future Past, X2, Blade
Hmm.
2, they like those sequels did what makes sense, and this really does that well to a T, which is very impressive. And in that note, I want to probably get into the characters because I mean, yeah, we have different Spirey people, but we still have our main ones, our two main ones. Miles and Gwen,
Hmm.
and I guess let's go to Gwen. I think that's the big important thing because the opening of this movie opened her dimension,
Right.
and I really appreciate that. So we got like a recap of her like origin story and where we're at with her before
Hmm.
she jumped into the Spider Verse stuff, and it was cool to see her coming back to her dimension, her band, the Tigers, if I remember
The
correctly.
Mary Janes.
Oh, that's what it go. Oh,
Yeah, their song is called "Face It Tiger."
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because it's Mary Jane's. Yeah,
Tagline, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, yeah. I thought they were called the Tigers, or yeah, the Mary Janes makes sense because she was like the lead something singer.
yeah. She's the lead singer of the band.
Yeah. Funny. Like it was kind of funny, like the Easter eggs we got for these characters. The
Hmm.
band we got here, the bully that bully Gwen's peer was. Did you heard this? Ned Leeds was the one that bullied her.
Yeah, I think that is from Spider Gwen because it's the
Okay,
Hobgoblin is the bully.
mm, that makes sense. And
Yeah.
Ned Leeds, it's kind of funny they did that because Ned Leeds was supposedly being the Hobgoblin,
Yeah.
but it wasn't really. The editors wanted it to be Robert Kingsley, the OG Hobgoblin, whatever. But it's cool that they actually made him to be a Green Goblin. That's neat. Yeah, that one that took me surprise. And then we see Katniss Stacy here, alive and well, and it was very intriguing to see, Katniss Stacy like really against, Spider Woman. Uh,
Hmm.
the recent, it's sort of similar to me. Like, I'm trying to figure out what other superhero didn't like the superhero. It's sort of like Harry Osborn a little bit,
Hmm.
where it like he, like the Toby one.
Yeah.
Where he saw the Toby Spider-Man holding the dad, and then he blames him. So it's sort of like that. It's kind of neat to do that with Stacy, and so
Hmm.
it's sort of kind of sad, to see the kind of like extraneous relationship that Gwen is having with the dad because of the spider. Um,
Yeah. That's another thing that's like right out of the comics.
oh yeah, okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's very neat that doing that. But with that, of course, Gwen didn't realize that the portals didn't only apply to Miles' universe; it was also applying to everyone. So
Hmm.
when they get, when Stacy got the cold, and of course, she has to go, and then we get our introduction to the Vulture, the Renaissance Vulture. It was very neat,
Hmm.
uh, and very funny, and so the opening was really great. This is a good time to mention the audio mixing. Uh, I was kind of wondering if you had trouble with the opening, and the ending with Gwen, because I know a lot of people were having a hard time hearing the dialogue with these two. Um,
Hmm.
or you were fine with your audio?
I think I was fine. Um, maybe it's like a theater by theater thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, it's bringing up. It's being kind of cautious, occasionally bringing up if you
Hmm.
have that trouble in your theater, especially if you go in a like a HD IMAX kind of screens.
Hmm. Yeah, I was in a pretty small theater.
Okay, so if you go to the regular, you're fine because the audio is a little more adjustable. But if you go to really like the premium, um, like HD and IMAX premium screens, then you're
Hmm.
gonna have big trouble with hearing some of the dialogue. So just give
Okay.
heads up with that. But yeah, besides that, we get our introduction with Miguel you know uh, and Spider Woman, Jessica Drew, uh,
Hmm.
here, and this is where it was kind of sad to see Gwen like just join the Spider side because of her dad not understanding the situation.
Hmm.
And this is where it really takes her arc here. So like the last movie, we got this one dialogue of how she didn't want to make friends anymore to not get hurt like what happened to her with Peter. And it was really neat that they actually took that dialogue and make it into her arc that, she had to accept and make new friendships, no matter the cost that being Spider-Man it will
Hmm.
cost,
Yeah.
and, especially, seeing what happened to her and Miles and their relationship, I like how at the end she forms the Spider team that was from the first movie, and then the new ones that we meet that were not with Miguel's cause, which
Hmm.
I really appreciate the more character arc that Gwen has here. And Gwen, voiced by Hailee Steinfeld, was really great here. This is her best performance as this character. I was so happy she got more to do here. So Yeah. What do you think about Gwen here? With her arc here and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it, but I love Gwen Stacy. I'll take anything with Gwen Stacy.
Yes, true.
So,
It's true.
yeah, no, I thought Hailee Steinfeld did a great job. The animators too, just really capturing that performance
Yes.
really well. That scene where she's fighting with her dad was incredible and beautiful. But like the animation specifically of like the character models
Hmm.
really captured the emotion. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then of course the voice performance, and then I loved the um, just like all the background visuals during that scene,
Yeah.
where they like transitioned to more abstract backgrounds when the two of them were just like looking at each other, and
Hmm.
um, yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah. It was sort of funny. Stacy's dad says it was the other one that cursed as well.
Mhm.
And when he says something, rub up his ass or something like that. I don't know.
Mhm.
But yeah. Another key thing with the visuals was them hugging. That
Mhm.
was like so. Oh my god, hit me in the heart. Like when they hugged, it like a spark of light came out from them,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it was so cool and so heartwarming. And yeah, I was so happy they got connected again towards the end of the movie, and so it was very neat. Yeah, yeah. I of course I love Gwen. She's one of my favorite love interests for Spider-Man, and it's
Mhm.
great to see Spider-Woman here. And I like her new model. I like how old her character is, and same thing with Miles when we get to him. Um,
Mhm.
Nice details. You brought up if you it's a casting Mitch, you can see her I don't know what the trends logo, the flag. You can see it twice. In her room, I think she stand. It says something about trans people. She like supports the transgender people, and her dad as well had like a logo in his jacket. If you see it,
Cool. Yeah, I
uh,
didn't notice that. That's cool.
yes, yeah. So it's really neat that they add that with Stacy's. Um, yeah, and I really love that they continue with the Gwen and Miles relationship. I like how not easy it is at the
Mhm.
beginning, and it isn't towards the end. So I'm like very excited for them to rekindle their relationship, and that's something that could have been, you know, not good or like very annoying. But I like that it was like it wasn't annoying or like you really understood what was going on, and their relationship was like shaking with the information that Miles was getting
Mhm.
about the canon events and all that, and
Yeah.
like how like when it wasn't there for him, it was for something else. Like all that really worked, and
Mhm.
it wasn't too much like drama sake for drama.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so yeah, Gwen was great. Then we get into Miles. Let's talk to our main hero, Miles. I really like Miles here. I loved him. I think his art again, just like Gwen's, are like paleo, but differently.
Mhm.
So obviously Gwen is she needs to learn how to form new friendship, and then for Miles, he sort of have to learn that he has to be in his own way and you know be like not he cannot like he has to realize that not everything is gonna be like what he expects, and so like because he always wanted to be a Spider Society and like wants to be around people that's like Spider-Man,
Mhm.
but but he realized that that's not all really what you really need. Like that's because like what happened after he gets the reveal of the whole canon event and all that, and how
Mhm.
Miguel's going to approach it, and yeah, and then just how to respect and love what you got so far, around you, with his parents and all that, which is great. I like that his mom got more to do here, so I really like her quote to Miles about how he's still the little boy that she still looks cares for, that
Mhm.
you know
Mhm.
but at the same time, like just remember that this is how you can grow and be a mature person, but don't forget where you come from, as
Hmm.
well. And so I really appreciate the mom being more in factor to Mayo's storyline here. And yeah, I thought everything he was really great with his art. And yeah, and just see where it comes at the percent of this movie, I thought everything with Miles was really great and strong all around.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And speaking of the parents, I thought the parents were good. I like how we connect. That he has his own like uncle and captain, like some of the other Spartan people. I wasn't thinking
Hmm.
about that until this brought up
Yeah.
because Captain Aaron, Uncle Aaron is his uncle Ben, and
Hmm.
his dad is going to be the Captain Stacy of it.
Yeah.
So that was not what I was expecting, and I really like that was where I was like, okay, this is really great. They actually are
Yeah.
doing something.
I
Uh,
really like that too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that until they brought that up, and intriguing that him and Gwen has like similar backgrounds too. I mean, differently, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, they both have police captain dads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's kind of funny that we got these two being
Yeah,
together.
I hadn't made that connection either.
Yeah, so it's funny that they did it. Like in this movie, they putting them into like a relationship, and then you realize, oh, they're dads are both captains, and yeah,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I'm kind of curious. Where's Gwen's mom? I don't know. Like I'm not familiar with.
Um, at least in what I've read in the comics, her mom's like not around.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's like a twist later
Mhm.
in an issue I haven't gotten to,
Okay.
but I'm several volumes in and I haven't had a reference to the mom yet. So
Yeah.
yeah, just Captain Stacy as a single dad for Gwen.
Yeah. And he plays up kind of like the Aunt May, if you want to go
Yeah,
that far,
yeah,
and if Uncle Aaron, oh yeah, well, not Uncle Aaron, sorry, Captain Miles gets killed, like it's the same thing with Miles. He's gonna get a single parent as well.
yeah,
If you've seen his comics and the game, they do
yeah.
that.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so like it's like they're gonna be more connected now. So which is sad. So
Mm.
than I heard. But yeah, so I thought that was so or like it was so neatly organic. Like it wasn't like it took me a surprise, and I was thinking of it afterwards when I saw the movie. I was like, huh, it was funny. That was
Hmm.
um a big one. I was kind of surprised they did this. I don't know if you like this, but the actual actively connect the spot to Miles was funny, and I became the best thing about this movie. Uh,
Hmm.
let's get into the spot. I love the spot, and me and Will love the spot, and
Yeah,
yeah, and I was so excited when he became the main villain, and right away they got me with him being the villain of the week, and then becoming the super villain of
uh-huh.
the movie, and I don't know. I was so surprised they connect that. Him being the employee of the Alchemax from the
Yeah,
first, the
the
one
bagel
that
guy.
the bagel guy.
So that was my favorite joke from the first movie.
Yes. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god! It is. I cannot
Um,
believe when they did that. The bagel is like the bagel hit him right in the spot. Ha! Right
yeah.
in on there. Yeah, that was really funny, and oh my god, Jason Skassman, who
Schwartzman.
Schwartzman, yes,
Yeah.
from Rushmore, Bored to Death, a great
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
I love, yeah, the best spot actor to play him.
He's
Uh,
also the drummer of the band Phantom Planet.
oh yes,
Yeah. Who had a song in The Amazing Spider-Man.
oh, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
fun.
don't know. He might not have been No, it was a song from one of their early albums, so I think he would have been the drummer.
Amazing Spider-Man came out 2012.
Yeah, no, but the song that they used was from
Hmm.
like the early 2000s, and he was their drummer in the 90s, so maybe he wasn't in the band for that song, but
Okay.
still, there's a connection there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, but but yeah, so yeah, you got actor slash drummer person playing the spot. What do you
Yeah.
think about the spot here in this movie? Do you like what they did with the character in this movie?
Yeah, I was a little nervous at the beginning of the movie when they kept making him like a joke.
Yeah,
Um, but I thought that they really turned that around by the end of the movie, and he felt like very menacing and kind of like unnerving. Like my favorite thing about Spot is like just how like kind of terrifying he can be
yeah,
if you like want him to be. So I liked that they leaned into like both aspects of his powers. Like yeah, they look goofy and
hmm
they're like kind of silly, but if you like actually think about the implications of like what he could do, then it's kind of terrifying.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
yeah, I mean he's always been my favorite like underrated Spider-Man villain. So to see him like take the spotlight,
yeah,
so to say, um, it was great.
and it's really cool how they visualize his like
Yes.
upgrade
Oh,
to the
he's like the perfect villain for animation because it'd be so hard to do that in live
like
action. It's like him and Mr. Negative. I think
or the hardest one. Yeah,
yeah, the hardest to translate into live action,
yeah,
and they've both recently had really great like um, animated interpretations with like Mr. Negative and the video game, and now Spot in this movie. So
yeah. I
yeah.
agree. Yeah, and it's gonna be tough to do that live action. And then also just the way you give the character to perform his action scenes, like
Hmm.
how they translate that into the media, and it was cool to see how Miles had to deal with him, jumping from one portal to another. So
Hmm.
it's really cool. And it's always common with the spot if you pinch it. Like he does, like sometimes his spots can be limited. So it's cool to see him without the spots and how he looks.
Yeah.
And so like it was kind of neat how he has to like recreate more spots and then his more transformation to reverse colors like literally like Mr. Negative, like
Hmm.
black and then have white spots instead. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's really neat. Yeah, and it's kind of cool that he's gonna be the ultimate villain for some Miles, and he's gonna be the one that kills Captain Miles. So
We'll
uh,
see.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see. If that happens. Um,
Miles could change the canon again.
that's true. Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, so I thought everything was great. With the spot and the movie, like I liked how like at least he wasn't the only joke villain we had. Like
Hmm.
had couple here. Like I love how they poke fun of the rhino and like we saw like a little rhino in the cage.
Yeah.
I can't believe they went there. It was funny. And then I it was Polka Dot Man. Like, one of the, like it was a polka dot villain that was in that train sequence where like when Miles had he's trying to get the cake to his dad's celebration party. Uh,
Yeah.
and I don't know what villain was that. That was like
Uh, yeah. I don't. I'm not
it was like a
sure. I'd have to.
porcupine.
I'd have to. Oh, the armadillo.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, I think
Yeah,
I saw that.
which is yeah. It's another deep cut. Um, porcupine. I think is Spider Woman's
Villain. Yeah,
no husband. There's she's
really.
She's married to some like reformed old like D-list Spider-Man villain. I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
Um,
Okay. Um, that's very
yeah,
funny. But I mean,
yeah.
some
It
villains
was
do that. Yeah, heroes. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's fun. Yeah. Speaking of Spider Woman, we can I guess get into the characters I like. Um, uh, so Spider Woman.
Mhm.
Jessica Drew. I thought she was a great addition to this movie and played by Issa Rae, the actress from Insecure from
Yeah,
HBO.
Issa
Uh,
Rae, yeah.
yeah, she's from. It's going to be in the new Barbie movie coming out in July.
Nice.
Yeah, yep. Uh, I really liked her. I actually liked the role she had here with Gwen and her being like a mentor to her and all
Mhm.
that. So I'm hoping she can turn around, especially what we left her with. Because she was watching where Gwen was at and all that. So I'm kind of curious where we take her. And I like her relation with Miguel and 29,
Mhm.
which we got more of that, but. I thought everything what we did with her was really great. It was fun. It was still funny how she was like still fighting, but also pregnant,
Mhm.
which is funny. And yeah, and her bike was cool, and her scenes like her writing was like very like oh my god, like I mean the Matrix animation movie, the I mean Matrix or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Some of Richard Linklater's films, like like animation wise, like it looked more like that. But anyway, I don't know. Like her animation style was really cool. What do you thought about Spider Woman? Uh,
Yeah, no, I thought she was cool. Um, yeah, I liked her mentor relationship with Gwen. It's also from the comics. There's a crossover with Spider Woman and Spider Gwen and Silk pretty early on in Spider Gwen's run.
mhm.
Uh, yeah, no, it was nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really nice. It was really cool. Uh. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. She's in the movie. Hopefully she got more to do in the next sequel. Um,
Hmm.
but the big one was Miguel, Spider-Man 29. I guess we can get to
Hmm.
that character. Um, I mean, he was first introduced in the post-credit scene from Spider-Verse, and I thought he was really great here. I really like the role he's here. Like he's playing up the secondary antagonist for Miles to deal
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
play spot, and so like you understand, like he's more of like in the sympathetic villain role. Like, okay, you understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, he's doing it in a very aggressive and wrong way sometimes.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it was really neat to get more of him here. I thought I Oscar Isaac, great actor. I cannot believe
Yeah, he is.
yeah, he's such a perfect person to play Miguel in this movie, and I thought everything he's done was really great. The animation with Miguel was great. He like
Hmm.
I can't believe they gave him the cape. Uh,
Hmm. Yeah, it's
you
cool.
know, yeah, it was so cool. 'Cause I don't think, yeah, he wears a cape, right, in the comics.
Um,
I don't think so because Spider-Man
I
gave him the cape. Um,
yeah, I feel like every time I've seen him, he hasn't had a cape, but
yeah,
I haven't read any of the Spider-Man 2099 comics, so
no,
it's very possible that he does at some point.
yeah, I'm trying to remember, like it's always the gliding web that like so many of the Spider-Mans have.
Yeah. Oh man, I love the web wings.
Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah. It
I
was
saw they added them to Spider-Man 2, the video game, and I'm really looking
yes,
forward to that.
yes. Oh my god, with yeah, Miles having that.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Yeah, oh my god, the lizard looks great.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. We could get sidetracked if we
Yeah,
start talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, that's good. I guess it's gonna be a good time to. Well, actually, like before, because you were bringing up that game because we saw the Sonic Spider-Man, and
Yeah,
and that was cool.
there's another reference to the Spider-Man game. In the
Oh
like one of the other Spider-Man was Spider Cop, which is a recurring joke in the
yes,
Spider-Man video game, and then in the most recent like Spider-Verse esque crossover that they did, they made Spider Cop an actual like variant of Spider-Man. And then I saw him in the background of like several shots
yeah.
in the movie.
Oh yeah, when
Yeah,
they go into lobby and see the whole like widescreen of all the Spider-Mans, like you see them right away.
yeah,
So yeah, oh my god, it's funny. And
that's great.
yeah, oh god, these all of the Spider-Man was funny.
Mhm.
God, but yeah, so Miguel, getting back to Miguel, I really like where he's at. Like his animation was really cool. How distinct he really is. Like he
Mhm.
reminds me of the Tron animation show. That was
Mhm. Mhm.
it reminds me of that the Disney XD kind of style to that. But yeah, so like everything about Miguel here was really great and was a great payoff to the post credit scene. Uh,
Mhm.
and it makes sense why he forms the society of the Spider Society. So it's really cool. What do you thought about Miguel here? Do you like the way that they took him from this movie?
Yeah, no, I liked it. I don't know. Yeah, I liked that. It was I think it was Peter B. Parker. It was like, you're the only Spider-Man I've ever met. He's not funny.
Yes,
They like he felt like a good foil to all the other Spider-Men that we know.
yeah. I like the running gag that he's like a vampire or like is he really got a Spider Man? Yeah,
Hmm.
because of just how weird like how uncharacteristically he's not Spider Man. You
Yeah,
know?
which is yeah, that's true of Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but I just loved how they poked that to
Hmm.
death, and it still didn't get old. Like when Miguel like last time faced him is like, are you really Spider Man? Like you really are not. When they're in the train, because the claws he has this like very like werewolf like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. It's very funny. But he had one of my favorite lines when he say, I had enough of you, Pure B." Like
Yeah,
that was
I've had just the right amount of you.
yeah, and that's like the best like F you
Yeah.
ever. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna say that now to Jaden. It's like I have enough of you now. Just from this movie. Oh god. That is such a great like burn to like
Hmm.
one of the best
Hmm.
burns from a person.
Yeah, like
Oh my
you've
god.
served your purpose
Yes, yes, sir, you
and you
broke.
can leave. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god. Jeez, this movie just gets you every time with this dialogue.
Hmm.
And speaking of Peter B, we got Peter B here.
Yeah.
He does how to say, like he's not like he doesn't factor in too much of the storyline. Like
Hmm.
later on in the film, I was like kind of surprised about that. But then, well, when we get introduced to him again, it was like right back to Spider Verse first film,
Hmm.
and I
Yeah.
like like it was great to expand what happened to the him and Miles relationship and how that events affected him. Uh,
Mhm.
Particularly now he has a baby.
Yeah. Mayday.
Yeah,
Ah, yeah.
yeah.
Just.
Adorable, cute, and then very funny.
Mhm.
Yeah, when she, I was like, it was funny when she had it's funny how Peter B gave her the what was it like the hat for Spider Man
Mhm. Mhm.
over her eyes, and then I like towards the end she pulls it down again to be ready for action. I can't believe he's bringing her into the action. So I like how we're continuing his like responsibility still, and like he's still just not
Mhm.
perfect, which I like. Um, but yeah, but I like how I appreciate how like his friendship with Miles made him appreciate more with kids that he wanted kids, which you got from the first movie when you say like
Right.
I'm starting to like kids now, and
Hmm.
so that was really great to see more of that and get that into that. And it was sad, for Miles to distrust him too. Like he knew as well, and with the information about the Canon event and all that. But yeah, I thought Peter B was great, and the the moments we have him was like it was so good. It hit the ground really well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so we've been talking by like an hour now. Let's get into the Easter eggs and then the nitpicks and all that. So we brought up the PS4 Spider-Man. Like it was cool to see him, and you brought up the what is it, the Guards?
Spider Cop.
Yeah, Spider Cop.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught this, but they did the comic balloons that you usually see in the comics, and
Oh, they did.
yeah, they did. They did that when they introduced your character, and they did that with
Oh,
PS4.
oh, yes. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I, I
Yes.
I don't know if you caught that, but it was really
Yeah.
neat they did that
It's
when
Insomniac Spider-Man. I think it said.
yeah,
Yeah. Which is
yeah,
the name of the um,
the
developer.
company,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was really cool. And I don't know who else they did it with. Well, they did it with the Spider Cowboy. I remember.
Yeah. They did it with Peter Parked car.
Oh yeah.
The Oh man.
Oh
It
my
was
god.
great.
Yeah, and Scholar Spire, they did that with him, and
Yeah.
I mean, even that was funny. I can't believe he had two more scenes. Like, I wasn't
Yeah, they
expecting
made him like
emo
an
Spider-Man.
actual character in the movie instead of just like a one-off joke.
Yes, that's very.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Then who else? Like,
I didn't like that they made him like a joke.
oh, oh, really?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like it's funny as someone who like knows Ben Riley,
Right.
but like Ben Riley's never been in like like a movie or like I
Mm,
feel like the average person watching that movie won't get why it's funny that they're making him like that, you
right.
know? Um,
Yeah.
so
Um.
it just feels like if that's the way you're gonna like introduce that character to a bunch of people, it feels kind of weird. It's like it feels weird that the first like major adaptation of Ben Riley is like a parody of Ben Riley.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Well, the problem with Ben is like he's associated with an arc that no one
No,
likes.
I know
I
I
I
know I know.
I know. I didn't mind it. They didn't like made the joke horribly awful. Like I actually I don't know. Like I actually like the humor of these movies. How they like jab at the thing you love the most
Yeah,
and the ridiculous in the right way. And
yeah,
so it didn't bug me what they did with Ben. And also I like the way how he's drawn in the animation
yeah,
style.
yeah. I really like there's like the cell shaded look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I I don't know. I like the that way, and also, I mean, people do like Ben Riley. I mean, his costume, like that, and the
I think
super,
yeah,
the Superior Spider-Man that I really liked. Like people like it. I think I don't think the joke went too far. Like certain movies, like the MCU, when they do it, it's really awful and really bad. Like I don't like the Peter Tinkle thing. It's far too far.
yeah,
Like here
yeah.
it's different.
I don't know. It's just it
It,
again. It felt weird to have like the first like big screen adaptation of Ben Reilly be like
Hmm.
a parody of Ben Reilly. It felt
Yeah,
kind of wrong.
yeah.
But
I can see. Well, my complaint is we didn't have enough of him. Like he has one moment there, and then he has the one. Like it was funny.
well,
The
yeah,
wait. Uh, no, you're gonna say something.
yeah. I like if you're gonna make him like a joke, then you don't want him to be like you don't want him to overstay his welcome as the joke, you know.
Yeah,
So it makes sense that he wasn't
there too
like
much.
there, yeah, for a lot.
Yeah, I, I don't know. It's funny they brought him back. Like it's funny Miguel chose him, and
Yeah, I wonder maybe they'll give him like a more substantial role in the third one.
yeah, maybe.
But
I mean, Gwen did take him out from the Spider-Verse thing, the
mhm,
watch. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. I just thought it was was funny, and but it didn't cross the line like certain ones, as I brought up, like the MCU about
mhm,
yeah. But I see where you're coming from. I mean, I do like that character, and I mean, like the cartoon, the '90s Spider-Man did a really good job with that character, and I like how
mhm.
he was handled there. So, but I mean, you got so much to do in this movie, so like
Yeah, no, it's
stuff.
completely fine of them for them to like not have time to
Yeah,
deeply explore all of the characters that they had.
yeah, exactly.
They had a lot to juggle,
Yeah, which
a lot to other things to prioritize about Ben Reilly.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, well, which character? I mean, I shouldn't say which character is cooler because it's like Spider 29 is cool and he's
Yeah.
cool. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. But I will say, let's. I think this is a good way to talk about the other two new Spider characters. Spider Punk. We got
Hmm.
Spider Punk
Oh,
here.
I love Spider Punk.
Yes. Oh my God. So, voiced by Daniel Kaluuya. It's great that he's back for a Marvel thing.
Hmm.
Um, I really like you gotta mention him like early on when Gwen was talking about him. Like he like she crashes to his universe a couple times,
Hmm.
as stated, and so it was cool with the payoff of him arriving in the Aquamex ending a sequence of of stuffing the spot, and it was cool that he like broke the shields right away, and I
Hmm.
love his animation. Like it's very British.
It's they nailed the like punk rock like
Yeah,
poster look so
yeah,
good.
Oh my God, it was so. And when we get his review of his like face, it's like even so cool.
Yeah.
It's so great. And I didn't got this until just looking at the internet. I did not catch the spider watch that he gives to Gwen. He made it in
Yeah.
a way. It is funny, and then I realized he did the Aquaman Justice League thing of like just stealing the stuff in that room where Miguel was at. Um, so I was like, oh, so that's what he was doing, like taking these pieces. I was like, what are you doing? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so, and it
Well,
was
it's and when he I forget who he said it to, but he said something about like making your own watch early on. I think it was either to Miles or Gwen. I think it was to Miles.
yeah,
Um, so then, yeah, and then he went ahead and
yeah,
did that for Gwen later.
yeah. Yeah, because it took me a while to say like, why the watch look weird? It was from his dimension, so that's
Yeah.
funny. That was cool. Like even the watch could be like it's like from
Hmm.
his, so that was cool. But yeah, I thought that was a great addition. I'm happy he's part of the Spire team.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and same with the Indian Spire person.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
um, yeah, so we're gonna get to him soon. Because I thought he was the best.
Hmm.
But the Spider Punk, I thought he was a really great addition, and I thought he really fit to what was going on. I like how I think Gwen or Spider Woman Jessica Drew say that some of them are part time, which was funny.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's funny how he say I quit like when everyone just
Hmm.
started to attack Miles. So it's really funny. But yeah, so let's get to the Indian Spider-Man. Which I know that was like your favorite. I it seems like.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I mean, man, they picked all of my favorite like Spider-Man variants for this movie, or at least
yes.
most of them. Um, yeah, Spider-Man India has always been a favorite, like deep cut um, Spider-Man from Marvel's past for me. So
Mm,
um,
okay.
yeah, I liked that he showed up and was like very prominent. And then I loved his costume. I thought the voice acting was like really great for him. He just seemed like very like
Spot on.
yeah,
Like
just really like charming and likable, and I loved it.
yes. Oh god, I love the gag with Stacy. Like, oh hello, Cat Stacy. I was kissing or mooching your daughter.
Yeah, Captain Singh. Yeah.
You kept the same here. But yeah, I love his costume. Like, it's
Oh,
a
it's
great episode.
so beautiful.
Yeah, because in the comics, it's like Spider-Man, like classic, but with with the Indian, uh, like clothing and the
Hmm.
as the pants. I like
Yeah,
that you went like a more drastic change.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Me too.
I really appreciated that and give it distinct Spider-Man India, and I really like that design. And I love the his webs is like these like yo-yos. I guess from their I don't know like what you call
Yeah,
it.
I don't know what the proper term would be, but yeah, no, I liked that there was like also a cultural touch to
His webbing.
his
Yeah,
uh web shooters.
yeah. So that was really cool. I was so happy when I saw him towards the end as the Spire team. So that was really good. And he has great chemistry with Gwen and Miles. And
Yeah.
you were saying they gave you your favorite Spider-Man's variant.
Hmm.
I appreciate that we got more Spider-Verse team ups with the variants.
Yeah.
So I was happy to see like Miles, Gwen, and then Spider-Man India, and then Spider-Punk comes in. That was great.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was really cool. And then the beginning with Gwen's universe, so Miguel and Spider-Woman, which I didn't. I thought it was more like separate, but I didn't expect they were going to be together, which was neat when I saw
Hmm.
it. Because we saw a little bit in the trailers when Spider-Woman was going to attack the Vulture. But yeah, my favorite Spider-Man villain was the Spider Cat. Uh, I, when
Uh-huh.
I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh my god, a Spider Cat!" And oh my god, I can't believe we didn't get to do more with the Spider Cat. Come on! And, like now, when I come back to you and John's apartment, I'm gonna dress
Hmm.
up Walter to be Spider Cat.
Go for it.
Yeah, and then just do the Spider Cat theme, Spider Cat, Spider Cat.
Like a
Oh,
spider pig from the Simpsons movie.
oh my god, yes. Yes. Well, it's still funny today. Spider and Spider Cat will catch on.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that was funny. The Spire T Rex, like
Yeah.
I I that was so like what? And oh my god, this one was my favorite. I don't know if this was your first one. It was my like, we saw the Josh Keaton Spectacular Spider-Man and in the
Hmm.
Kemp event example, but then we saw him
Right. Yeah. He had a line.
like a line. I was like kicking out of that. I was like, oh my god, they made him talk. I was so happy. Oh
Yeah. No, they really knew like the ones that people wanted to see.
yeah, I mean when the poster of the Chinese Spider-Man thing released, people saw the spectacular one and like, oh my god, I was so happy.
Hmm.
This spectacular Spider-Man, the best Spider show, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, and it was great to see other ones like the Spider-Man Unlimited. Like it was very brief if you caught that. And oh my god, what else? The bag Spider-Man was fun to see.
Oh, I didn't notice him, but
Yeah,
like, yeah,
like yeah, from
I know the costume. I just didn't see him in the movie. I know he was in the credits for the first one.
yeah. Oh no, it's very he's part of the chase, and like you see him
Yeah.
right close. It's really great.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, but you don't see like the four because of rights.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That
So, but
makes
I
sense.
mean, yeah, but the bag you can tell.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. That was fun, and then oh my god, I was thinking, what was the 60 Spider-Man one? That
Mm-hmm.
was funny. Like when he was flew in and then, and then he misses Miles. Oh my god. Oh Jesus. Yeah, this I don't know what was your favorite gag and joke they did. I laughed when you saw the Spider-Man holding these two bridge. So like he does with
Yeah.
and then every Spider-Man just crush it onto him and oh my god, and fall down. That was
That was good.
oh my god. It was so funny. My favorite was the other funny scene. I don't know if you got this one was the Miles and parents conference they were having,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that they put the Puerto Rican flag when the mom snapped.
Yeah. That was great.
Oh my, that was so great. It was so funny. The grounded gag that
Mm-hmm.
was the best. Like you ran it for 2 months, and then it got escalated to 3 months, and then 5 months. Oh my god, that was really funny. What else? What are Easter eggs that they throw up? I'm trying to figure out what are Easter eggs they did. Um, that was a foreign. What else? Trying to figure out. We saw a picture of Doctor Octopus of the Olivia Octavius with the spot, so
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of neat. And then the other one was the cyber what was this person the cyber Spire Bite the
Yeah.
virtual
Yeah.
Spider-Man. That was kind of that's another one briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was kind of good. I liked her animation there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jack Quaid, he voices Pierre in Gwen's universe. I don't know if you caught that.
I saw his name in the credits, but I didn't know who he played.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he played Pierre, so I knew he sounded familiar with that version of Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one. He could be great as Spider-Man. Actually, Jack
Yeah.
Quaid. Yeah, like it's crazy. Like first movie was Chris Pine, who could have been like a good young Spider-Man or older Spider-Man. And
Mm-hmm.
Jack Quaid. That's fun. Um, and it was fun to see the villains cameos.
Mm-hmm.
Like you saw briefly Craven the Hunter. That was kind of cool. And you saw bits of like Rhino a little bit, Kingpin, and then Doctor Octopus here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a lot of Doctor Octopus themes, Easter eggs. I guess this team loves Doctor Octopus. Uh, funny out of all the villains, like Green Goblin gets like one Easter egg here, but that's it. Like, okay, like, like that's kind of weird, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. This is sort of weird. Okay, so I'm looking at Easter eggs. We got this kind of Spider, Mayday Parker. Her name is directly from the Spider Girl comics.
Yeah. From
That's
like MC2, I think it was called, where they
yeah,
tried to like reboot the Marvel universe before the Ultimate Comics.
yeah.
Yeah.
I read those comics. They're the best.
Yeah. I haven't read them.
Yeah, they're great. I love Mayday Parker, and I was so happy to see her as a baby. I guess.
Yeah, no, I liked that they were bringing that in.
Yeah, and so but she's great when she's like a teenager. Like it's basically like I don't know what's the name for it. Like basically Batman Beyond a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but not too far in the future. So
Right.
yeah. Oh, the other Easter egg, the Metro Spider-Man, that was like the black and white one that was like saying that you're not gonna get away. There's no escape, and then Miles escaped, and and he like correctly say, oh yeah, he had a way to escape.
Hmm.
That was very funny from that person. And I think this is a good time to bring up the soundtrack. Um, this is the best soundtrack I heard. It tops this first Spider Verse soundtrack. I thought the score by um Daniel hold on Daniel Daniel Pentorn. The score was really great. Like the Spider Verse theme was really amped up with the sections that it pop up, which was really great. Uh, the um the soundtrack with the songs was really great. I don't know you had the chance to listen to the music from the soundtracks, but it was really great. I don't know what's supreme on the music here and Spider across the Spider Verse. I thought it was like the best, like yeah, top the Spider Verse soundtrack. Like, um, but the opinion on the soundtrack.
Um, I think I preferred the one from the first movie, but I haven't had a
Okay,
chance to listen to the second one yet.
okay,
But I really loved the first movie soundtrack. I listened to it a lot, so it'll take
uh,
a lot to
yeah,
hop on.
I know, I know. I still love the Sunflower song.
Hmm.
And I started to like What's Up the Danger. I
Yeah,
I never really cared for it until this movie's trailers used it again, and I was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
sounds
I like that one. Yeah.
yeah. So but yeah, no, I understand that soundtrack is great. I had a chance to listen yesterday because
Hmm.
I love the song from when Gwen and well, not Pierre, but Miles and Gwen were swinging around in
Hmm.
Brooklyn, and that song was really great in that. And then I got the one song from Miguel, and that was really great. So I thought the soundtrack was really great. But yeah, it's tough. Okay, so I'm just thinking what else. I mean, Lego Spider-Man. We
Oh,
got
that was great.
yeah. That was
That's
fun.
funny.
Just like the Lego movies. When he contacts Miguel, he does the beep boop boop.
Hmm.
I was happy how consistent they were from just like the Lego movies. Like when they fire their guns, it's like they cannot use the sound; they use beep 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 beep. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, that was funny. And I love that JK system is the definitive JK Joe Jemison in the
Hmm.
universe.
Yeah.
So that was funny to see, and especially in Lego form, that was like hilarious. Yeah, I brought up Spider Cat. I'm bringing Spider Cat again because I just love that. Wait, Spider Cat was in the Miles game too. Oh my god, I need to check that out.
There was a cat. Yeah.
Oh,
And yeah, you could like
just a
one of
mouse.
the costumes was that you'd have like a backpack, and the cat would be in the backpack in a costume.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. Oh, okay, I was like, when did they? Oh my god, that's cool. I remember they did that. I was like, oh really?
Yeah.
But it wasn't cool as the Spider Verse cat. They actually spit out web mouth. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
my god. See, I wanted that to be in the team with Spider Ham. It's like to get great combo. Um, yeah,
They still might.
yeah, that's true. Like, it still might. This other Easter egg I want to bring up. The Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
They're
they directly referenced
the
No
MCU.
Way Home. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was in the beginning. I was
Hmm.
kind of surprised. I thought it was gonna do it where we were gonna introduce Miguel, Spider-Man 29 in his office, but it's funny they put it in the beginning.
Hmm.
So and see that was I was it was really tough to hear that from the audio in my theater.
Okay.
And so but I caught it quickly. But yeah, okay, that was funny. But what else that we need to bring up? Uh, oh, uh, Gonk, Gank from
Genki.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a little brief from him in this, and it was really. He had my favorite line. "I'm not the guy on the chair."
Right.
That was a great way to reverse that for because like Ned Leeds from the MCU is like the guy in the chair. So I
Also,
did.
Genki is 100% Miles' guy in the chair, in like most of the time.
Yeah, that's true. And you saw not to go to the game, the Spider-Man 2 game. Like
Right. Yeah. He's the guy in the chair.
yeah, controlling the drone from the
Hmm.
big hunter stuff.
Yeah.
And he's playing Spider-Man on the PS5 during
He's
that
playing
moment.
Spider-Man 2 on the PS5.
Yeah. Oh my god, this movie! That's maybe the best commercial promotion ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone online I saw had like isolated that from one of the because they had that shot in a trailer for the movie before they had any of the gameplay
Yeah,
like videos online for the game, and someone had like looked at it and noticed that the UI was different from the existing Spider-Man game, so they were like, oh, this must be from the sequel. And then the gameplay showcase came out for Spider-Man 2, and they like confirmed that it was footage from the game.
yeah, and how convenient that last week they released the gameplay, or yeah, last week or last Sunday, whatever.
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. It's very funny. Oh my god, Sony Pictures. Uh oh, this was my favorite Easter egg, and I didn't cut this, but the spot say something that's actually from Doctor Octopus. So the power of the multiverse in the palm of my hand.
Yeah, from
Oh,
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. I am
Or
freaking out that I didn't
the
catch
Power of the Sun, yeah.
the power of the sun in my palm of my hand. Oh my god, I can't believe they went through that. That is so cool. I love Doctor Octopus. I love that they actually switched the sun to multiverse, and that's like one of the best Easter eggs. Oh, another cool one was the Williamsburg Bank building.
Hmm.
So they have that. I guess yeah, this is like a favorite thinking place for like a lot of the Spider-Mans to get away from their problems. So that's very intriguing. It's sort of like a place where the Spider-Mans can like lay low, like kind of like Garfield. Apparently, Garfield prefers the Empire State Building, and Holland's is the high school, which you saw from No Way Home,
Hmm.
where he like when he's really wants downtime, he goes there. And apparently Toby goes from the Slayer building. Or
I thought it was the Chrysler building.
Chrysler building. I'm saying that wrong. Chrysler building. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but what else? Anomalies. Blah, blah, blah. Mentioned the branches. The multiple branches is before we get to the web branches. Like
Directly from Loki and
Loki.
Endgame, yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. Um, the web life and destiny is also from the Spider-Verse comics.
Yep.
Which was kind of cool. Yeah, and the live action. Oh, the canon event. You saw bits of it from the comic book panels. So, like one I had recognized this was the Amazing Spider-Man issue 90, where Captain Stacy does die. That was they took that panel and make that into like a sequence. So that was really cool. Oh, this one was the big one. I don't know. Your Theo reacted to this. This was the biggest laugh. Was the Spider-Man pointing meme.
Yeah.
And we got this in the trailer, but when it got to that point, it was the best laugh ever.
Yeah, I think that was also the biggest laugh in my theater.
Yeah, like my audience reacted it very well there, so that was cool. What else? Oh yeah, apparently one of the octopus say hello Pier. So, or the
Hmm.
fireman, one of the dummy villains says that, and similar
Hmm.
to how, uh, yeah, not to say hello Pier. I don't know why that's a big deal. It's like he's just saying hello Pier. I guess
It's like a famous line from, yeah.
yeah, but he says that in Spider-Man too. Like hello
Yeah.
Pier. It's like how like it's not like the in the palm of your hands line.
Right. Yeah. But it
I don't
still
know.
is the delivery
Yeah,
especially is very recognizable.
yeah. And the trailer, like the first major multiverse scene you saw for the trailer for No Way Home was like
Hmm.
seeing octopus and then saying hello, Peter. So
Hmm.
yeah, okay, that makes sense. What else? Oh, this one I caught. This was funny. The when we in the Earth 42, you listen to some of the news. So you got
Hmm.
Rhino Casino, and this one was my favorite because I was laughing hard with this. The Sinister Six cartel.
Hmm.
That's really great to put the drug cartels with the super villain team that Spider-Man is.
Hmm.
That is hilarious. Um, then here's other Spider people. You brought up the Spire Mobile. So are you telling me the Spire Mobile is alive? Is it? It's a ghost.
I like that particular version of it. Yeah.
That's okay. Okay, so okay, it's Herbie for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I because when you brought up the Spider Mobile like a long time ago, I was like, wait, I just thought that was just there for like showing off the gadgets, but no.
Yeah. No, I think there's a Spider Mobile that was like just a gadget that Spider Man had, and then I think there's a
Mhm.
um like a joke alternate universe where Spider Man is a car.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, okay. That's very funny to do that. That's how far they're going with this Spider-Verse theme. Cyborg Spider Woman was there. Just want to bring that up. Spire UK, Sunspire. Uh,
Spider UK. Oh yeah, right. It was a different version of Spider UK. I do remember that being
yeah,
in the movie now. Okay, because
yeah,
I had been looking out for Spider UK.
yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I saw that. I
Yeah,
saw
very,
her in
yeah,
the movie,
yeah, very
the
brief.
other version. Yeah.
Yeah, in the Spider Society lobby, they call it. Yeah, and then Spider-Man Unlimited. That one. You do see. That was cool. Japanese Spider-Man, which I like. Where was Japanese Spider-Man? Like, like.
I
Uh,
didn't see.
yeah, it has to be in one of the big swings of chase scene. That's the thing. Like, all this was either in the chase scenes or like briefly in the Spider lobby or whatever the point mean. But the other big one I missed. This was funny. The Black Suit Spider-Man, the symbiote,
Hmm.
one. So that was in it. Big time. The big time suit was there. I saw that. And you saw that in the trailer. So the werewolf Spider-Man, we cut that. So what else? Apparently the superior Spider-Man that when Doctor Octopus controls the Spider-Man body is there as well. The Iron Spider, the comics accurate one, is there too. Watch that out. Um, the Mega Spider-Man was there too. Like
Oh, I didn't see. That's another one of my favorites.
yeah,
I didn't see him.
yeah. It's when Miles is up in the Spider Society in the
Hmm.
swinging part. That's where
Hmm.
you see the Mega Spider-Man there.
Okay.
Uh, this is another one I was surprised they didn't like linger too long with Spider Monkey. Come on, like I need my Spider Monkey. Uh, okay. Well, my favorite was this one, the Spider Therapist. Like
Hmm.
that, the
Let me guess. Your uncle died.
the dies. Oh my god, that like that kills me. Yeah. Then what else? The web slinger widow spire horse was funny as well when
Hmm.
they were going to do the draw and like Miles reacted quickly to shoot him with the web. He's like, that was too soon. That was funny. um the other big one was the Flash Thompson Captain Spire, so that one was kind of cool. But yeah, and the Spire Knight, that was kind of cool. So
Hmm.
but yeah, so those are all the Easter eggs. Now let's get into nitpicks. I don't have major nitpicks. I mean, there maybe there's few, but well, let's get into nitpicks and negatives about this movie. I apparently you got few, so let's.
Just one, but it's major.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah, I really don't like when movies don't have like a self-contained plot.
Okay.
So like the to be continued at the end of a 2.5 hour
Oh,
movie is
okay.
man. Like it would be one thing if it felt like this movie had like a true like 3 act structure to it.
Yeah. Right.
But it really just felt like stuff kept happening and then the movie ended. It didn't feel like there was a natural conclusion.
Okay.
Um,
Um.
like, so I don't know. It really felt like I watched half a movie and not the full thing. So like,
Mhm.
I'm sure I'll like once I have the second half of the movie, I'm sure I'm gonna love this. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, it just feels really like it feels like I watched a trailer for part 3,
Yeah.
and that really annoys me.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
hate when movies do that.
Okay. I. Okay. So I see what you're saying. I know a lot of people. You know, I heard a couple people say that. I disagree. I think this is the way you end your movie, right? And
No.
for Cleveland, yes, you have to. No. I agree because I seen another movie, aka Fast 10, Fast X, whatever you want to call it, tried to do that, but failed to do that because they had so many storylines they did not pay off. So that left me frustrated. Here, I did not. They at least wrapped up a lot of the major, like, yes, some of the linger storylines are still there, but some of the arcs that our characters went into were done in this movie. Like Gwen has finally accepted her, like finally accepted that she needs to form new friendship, and her building up the Spire team that we got the first movie is a big like resolution for in this movie. And
Mm-hmm.
then same thing with Miles. Yes, Miles confessed the wrong mom in the multiverse, but it really showed that Miles like actually learned what he needed to do as a Spider-Man. And so the next movie, he will probably tell his mom about his Spider identity. Uh, in in this time next movie, you know. And so like he's sort of in the right direction towards the end. The the spot villain thing, like you know, he was a villain of the week, but we built into slowly that he's going to be a major villain, but not in the way we were expecting. Like he was going to be the villain to probably killed maybe his father, Miles' father.
Mm-hmm.
If we see that in the next movie, so that is so that is like is actually a good setup. And then the Spider Society, like we got that. We saw Miguel. We are in this position with Miguel. Okay, we first saw him. He's trying everything his best, sort of like what character in the multiverse, like the TVA from Loki, but so
Mm-hmm.
much worse. So you see him where we begin. He's trying everything to keep the order of multiverse in the state, but because what Miles is doing is causing more hectic and more chaos, so he's becoming the villain that he's not realizing he is right now and what he's doing, so I think he's going to go through this arc sort of like Peter B in the first Spider-Man, so that he
Mm-hmm.
realized that it's not always set in stone for Spider-Man to be tragic and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
so I think this movie ended in the right way. It didn't left a lot of questions like up the airs like certain movies did. And then another thing I don't have a problem with is the release date. We're getting this movie next year. I talked to this with Chris yesterday about this. Like it's gonna be in March. We're already halfway in this year, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We're in June. So we don't have to wait too long. Just like what
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings.
that does help.
Yeah, so I think this was a good way where like I brought up Fast 10. Freaking Vin Diesel thinks he's gonna make a trilogy. Pardon my French. There's no way that's gonna be a trilogy, and the
Hmm.
part two is gonna come out in 2 years, in 2025. So I think what the Spider Verse team are doing here is way much better. And this Clipper is what Empire Strikes Back was too. Like this was a perfect way to do a Clipper. So I thought, but I can understand where you're coming from. I don't like it either, but I thought this was the better ones than some of the Clippers.
Hmm.
It's tough. It's not like Infinity War. I feel like Infinity War and England did it better. I will say.
Yeah, well, Infinity War, like it had a self-contained story. It's just that the heroes lost at the end of it. Whereas this is like you're just cutting the story off halfway through and being like, all right, we'll pick this up next time.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I disagree or agree. It reminds me, like, I brought up Empire Strikes Back now. It reminds me of that, like, our characters are separated and diverge.
Yeah,
In the next movie, like, Miles is gonna team up with Gwen and Peter and the whole Spider team that he knows from the first movie and the new ones he has built from this movie.
yeah,
So it's actually a good ending for me because I don't know. That's and also it feels like a comic book thing. It's like to be continued. I like that.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, yeah,
It
like
does. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what like my friend said too after we saw the movie. But
Mhm.
it's still a different medium,
Yeah,
so it's not like a comic book where the next issue is coming out like next week. It's
yeah. I
we have to
yeah.
wait like 9 months, which is shorter than most movie sequels, but it's still a
Yeah,
long time to get the second half of the story that you're
yeah,
watching.
yeah. I know. Yeah. I mean, look, we have to wait 5 years to get the sequel, so
Yeah, but the first movie had a beginning, middle, and end, so it was fine to just have that in the meantime. You know,
yeah, yeah.
the first movie stands on its own, whereas this one you need the sequel for it to make like
Yeah,
narrative sense. So that's what bothers me. You can't just watch this movie.
yeah. Um, I so tough. I guess I want to see how well I guess the third movie could do. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna do great, and I'm sure the two movies together will have a really like well written and narratively satisfying story structure.
Yeah,
It's annoying that they
mm,
only put out half of that at a time.
yeah. I guess so. I mean, leaving the best part of having Miles versus the Flower Miles is like, uh, I know it's yeah, that's a good ending. Yeah, and then we didn't get the result, the review, the solve thing of the dad, situation with Captain Miles, So
Yeah,
we can do that
I
next
mean
movie.
they didn't resolve much of anything in this
Well, which
movie.
ones? Yeah, which all of it? No, I I I, I disagree. I think they did a good job of tying in certain things that was in this movie that's not going to pick up in the next movie. So I think that's a good thing. The ones that they didn't pay off is going to be carry over next movie. So yeah, make sure to
Yeah,
catch that. So
I guess maybe if I think of it as like a movie about Gwen instead of Miles, it works because she actually had an arc and it started with her.
that's true.
But then it
That's,
didn't end with her. I don't know.
oh yeah,
I don't know. She had like a complete arc with her dad though, so that there was one
yeah, that's true.
story beat that actually finished.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. True. I'm curious to rewatch it again. I think we'll watch it next week.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, I'm gonna go back and see it again too.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I think you're hitting in the right point. Like, I think this really was Gwen's movie because the opening and the ending is really Gwen's dialogue. She's doing her speech, like almost similar to Miles in the first movie.
mhm,
And so yeah, this is really like Gwen's movie, and like she has an arc she's going through. Where Miles has an arc, but his thing is not yet resolved. So that's like a thing we're continuing in the next movie. So and the only thing that's left for Gwen is like the fixed pairing of her relationship with Miles, really. So
mhm.
but yeah, no, I see where you're coming from now. Yeah, but the same thing. That's why I like this movie. Like, this Gwen is great, and like I appreciate like I appreciate there was a dual protagonists. That's another thing that I like about this movie. They made Gwen and Miles to be dual protagonists, and in a good way.
Mhm.
And I think that's one of the things I appreciate that they juggle so much in this movie. And I want to bring up this is the first animation movie with 2 hours. That's a rare thing that
Mhm.
animation movies do. So the fact this movie was under 2 hours, just like like a normal like summer blockbuster you and I has seen so many times. Like
Mhm.
it's really impressive that animation movie like this is doing that very well, and I thought it did well. That and I don't think they it's half the story. I think this is like a one contained. I think this is a one contained story with Gwen, and that's why I feel satisfied. Where the next part it will be more Miles and the the conversation of is the Captain Miles gonna be a canon event or not? That
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. Um, but we'll see.
There were too many things that were set up in this movie so they could be paid off in the third movie.
That's true. Um,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't like when I know like that's basically all of the MCU, but
Yeah.
it's bothered me more and more as time goes on that the movies don't stand on their own as narratives as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I understand where you're coming from. I've been seeing that too. Um, MCU has done it well. I trust this team to do it well too.
Yeah,
So
no, like I know that it's gonna pay off really well in the third
yeah,
act. It's just really like I wish that the second movie was able to stand on its own as just like a movie and not
hmm yeah,
a sequel.
yeah,
It like I said, it feels like a trailer for part three more than it does
but
its own movie.
mhm. I see. I see. I mean, again, I understand where you're coming from. I disagree. It's, I think this movie is doing sort of what Guardians did, where the sequels always were focused on the one character.
Hmm.
Like Volume Two was like a lot more pure, and then but it's also they expanded more of the family aspect with the Guardians, and then the third one was about Rocket, and then it was about the 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 friendship of the Guardians, And here, I think the second film was more about okay, Gwen, her arc, and then Miles and the his relationship with the Spider-Man legacy and all that, and then that's why I sort of liked it. So yeah, for me, I think it deals with that, and yeah, many of these questions are up the air, but it's gonna pay off with the third one. I think they did a good job where they left it. In a way, I didn't feel cheated towards the end, like Fast 10. I would say I don't know. You haven't seen
I
that,
haven't seen Fast 10 yet.
so that is far worse because
Okay.
they like they ended with two characters escaping from a high security place
Hmm.
in the north, and then we get a classic Fast and Furious retcon, bringing a person back from the dead, and then that's it. Cut to screens and that's it. And it's like, and if you're asking me, what about Vin Diesel and the Sun? They cut Van's character Dom in a like moments of an explosion and blank to black. And that's it. It's like they didn't they didn't they didn't pay them. So I this is way better. Like at least they tell you you're actually going to continue the story where that doesn't tell you anything about like no one knows the Fast 10 is going to be a two-parter. Where here I know everyone knows that this is going to be a third Spider movie. It was literally be a two-parter. Uh, with the tiles. They
Yeah.
pick layered.
No, I yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So wow. I was I mean, what's like the worst like cliffhanger you saw in a two-parter or for a franchise? Hmm.
I think it's just like as the MCU has gone on more and more, it feels like like some properties are like exist solely to set up future movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, or just like the Amazing Spider-Man 2
Oh,
was another really bad one where
yeah,
it just felt like they were doing it so they could set up the Sinister Six movie that never happened.
yeah.
It felt like a stepping stone to get to a movie that was like later on,
But
and the movie really suffered for it.
yeah. Um,
Um,
yeah, that's a good one.
so like I don't know. This was obviously done a lot better than the Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Yeah.
but there was still that like feeling that I don't know. Like I felt like too much of the movie was setting up a future movie, and not enough of it was like spent on the movie that was like in front of me. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Man,
like I want to have a beginning, middle, and end just
that's
for the movie that I'm watching, and
mhm,
then I want it to neatly move into a third movie that has a beginning, middle, and end. Like
mhm,
they did with the first movie leading into the second one. Like the second movie is clearly the direct result of everything that happened in the first movie. So it's a continuation of that story. But if you watch the first one, you aren't watching it thinking like, oh, they're setting up a sequel. You're watching it thinking that they're just telling this one story.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, no, I agree. Yeah, I cannot tell what. Well, mm, I can tell there were three acts, but it was like the third act was like long. Like
So long. Yeah.
yeah, it was like Dark Knight. Like it's like almost like three endings or two. But yeah. But
But it
yeah,
didn't feel like an ending though. Like that's the they
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like there were ways that they could have made it feel like an ending.
Hmm.
Like I think if it had
Well,
ended with him getting to Earth 42 and then
mm,
like thinking that he was home and just like having that like that scene where he like tells his mom that he's Spider-Man,
yeah,
and then I think the like twist ending could have been her being like, what are you talking about? Like, who's Spider-Man?
yeah.
And like the reveal that he's on the wrong Earth.
Universe, yeah,
I think that would have been a good ending, but then it kept going.
yeah.
And like it just felt like it was
Very
like
true.
it just really felt like I got cut off halfway through a story and it wasn't like its own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's very true. Yeah. It's yeah. I guess if you just like just maybe just show the plot, like maybe just change up the sequence of the 42, just have the flower attack Miles, and
Hmm.
then you probably knock him out, and then turn like he does this very dramatic looking at the eyes in the face, and then like the mask unfolds, and you see that's like a doppelganger of Miles. Like that's the Earth 42's Miles. Then cut it that way. And uh,
Even that, I feel like that spends too much time setting stuff up. Like that whole scene could have easily been the beginning of the third movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true. Yeah, yeah, that's really tough. I think we have to just judge this movie as is. We have what 9 months, you're
yeah.
saying, since the third one.
Again, yeah. Like I trust the creative team completely to like give a satisfying ending to it, but I think the way I'm gonna have to watch these movies in the future is I'm gonna have to watch 2 and 3 back to back because they tell the one story together,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
Uh,
then it's really a 5 hour movie. It's not 2.5 hour movies because it's a 5 hour story that they just kind of cut in half and packaged as 2 different movies.
that's just true.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, I am very surprised, but yeah, it's true. Oh, it's just, oh man, it's tough. Yeah. Uh, again, I think I'll probably just stick with this. Just I'm gonna judge it as it is. I probably will judge it more if they do it well in the third movie, and like then it could have been more justified. That I actually will like this ending more.
Mhm.
Because as it is, I think this is the way they probably have to do it, and then you'll see the payoffs in the next one. So we have to wait. So. I understand where you're coming from. I mean, yeah, it's kind of was, but then you have to admit it was fun to like be look at the audience member and it's like, oh, we have to wait for another movie coming out. Like
Mhm.
I think they did such a good job of pumping everyone to be excited to see the third movie. It's just because when we do these two-parters, people, they don't amp up everyone to be excited for this third chapter. This storyline they're building.
Mhm.
I feel like we're forgetting to do that. And that's my major complaint about what you're saying about the MCU is they're setting up, but they're not focusing on the story they have here. And I feel like Spider Verse here is focusing on the story they have here that is just continuing in this movie, but and then the setups are for the third. So I think they're doing a better job of how to do it than the MCU films. In my
Well,
opinion.
I think Spider Verse 2 and 3 are definitely going to feel more coherent
Yeah,
in telling a story across multiple movies than the MCU does.
yeah,
But I still
yeah.
feel like Across the Spider Verse doesn't have its own identity separate from Beyond the Spider Verse.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, it's literally called Trust the Spiders. We literally crossed so many of them this movie, which was great. I That's the thing I like about this movie. We because the first movie it was a very self-contained,
yeah. Everything was on
Miles.
1610. Yeah,
Yeah, and what I like about this movie is like we went to do actual Spider Verse.
yeah. I love that too.
And I really like that, and I like that the titles make sense in these movies. Like
Hmm.
first one was Into the Spider Verse, where we're getting into the mythos and the biology and all that with the Spider Verse thing.
Hmm.
Here, like literally crossing through the Spider Verse and through everyone's dimensions and all that, which I like. So I think that's the one consistent thing about this movie that self-contains the cross part. Because I'm wondering because the third one we got the title for the third one. It's been out there for a while. The Beyond the Spider Verse. I'm kind of curious what we're gonna do that connects to the themes and all that.
Hmm.
I feel like the themes and the character arcs that like particularly Gwen went through for this movie is self-contained here and it's been closed out. Where the third one, I'm curious what's gonna happen with the canon event of Miles' dad and the spider society. What's gonna happen with all that?
Hmm.
So I'm very curious. But yeah. Any other nitpicks? What were the other frustrations besides that? Besides the ending.
I mean,
Um.
that really was like the only
Oh wow.
complaint I had, which is a big
Okay.
complaint, but
Yeah. Yeah.
otherwise, I loved everything about this movie.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I I wasn't. I mean.
That and I already said my piece about Ben Riley, but
Yeah, Ben Riley, yeah. Yeah, my diptychs was not getting enough Spider Cat. Uh, I, I,
that's fair.
I,
That's fair.
yeah, exactly. No, they didn't give me Spider Cat or Spider Dog. Wait, where is Spider Dog? It's like,
There's a Spider Wolf.
yeah, but like, I mean, I don't know. That's not the same animal type. That's werewolf. I mean, a dog. Like a dog. Like slobbers and barks so many times.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't have nitpicks. I thought this movie was legit flawless. I I mean, with the ending, I appreciate they notify me there's gonna be another part, another movie, which is great because,
Hmm.
like, I mean, when you make money, you're gonna make another sequel. I'm happy they're at least honest to me and like, upfront to me that there's gonna be a third part.
Hmm.
Um, and what else? I mean, the pacing was good. I gotta say the pacing was good. They did a good job of pacing this film. It's still like Spider-Verse very chaotic, but like but in a good way. And I think that they did a good job of pacing the film. I highly recommend the movie. I think this is a 9 out of 10 movie for me.
Hmm.
Uh, I think it's still great. I don't think it's more plot driven than the first movie. Like the first movie really felt like a character driven movie. Um, maybe if I rewatch this and see if it's maybe the opposite, where this is character driven than the first one, but I don't know. But yeah, so I thought it was great. It's definitely the best superhero movie of this year, 2023. Beats Guardian Fallen 3. Very curious where the Flash uh, gonna do. But yeah. Uh, Thanks, Will, for joining me today on
Yeah,
this
thank you.
podcast. Yeah, I think this was one of my favorite podcasts to do today. I was so happy we get today. Will, next podcast, I know what we're gonna do next podcast. This is for you. So this month, this June, we got a 20th anniversary for a movie that you like. So that has 3 acts, as you say, first, middle, and ending. Uh, it's Too Fast and Too Furious. Uh, yeah, because I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah, I forgot. This year is 2003 is when they popped up. This year is the 20th anniversary, so we can do that. So, and then our next other thing after Too Fast will be the Secret Invasion thing,
Hmm.
I'm thinking we do a top 10 Spider-Man films. But now we got this movie. I'm happy to do
Are
a top.
there
Yeah,
are
yeah.
there 10 Spider-Man films? Oh,
Uh,
there are. Yeah.
yeah.
There's
I
okay.
well, cause yeah, because
Yeah.
I was waiting for this movie because I didn't want to include the Venom and Morbius movies.
Yeah. No, I wasn't.
Yeah,
They
so
wouldn't be.
yeah, so I was like, I make it very clear this is the main Spider-Man film, not the
Hmm.
spin-offs and all that. So yeah, so we got finally 10 movies. Hopefully I can rewatch Spider-Verse before that listing. I'm gonna put which I is already listed. I just have to add Spider-Verse and think very hard where I'm gonna put it in my list.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so well, thank you so much. I really happy to hear you. I'm happy you're doing well, and this crazy June. I can't believe it's June already.
I
Is it?
know. I feel like we say that every
Yeah,
month, but yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's
Um.
crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
i- in a matter of the 5 or I don't know 4 weeks now, we're gonna be in July, and then we're gonna be in August, and then it's like we're gonna go to the point where we're already be at March to see Spider Verse, Beyond Spider Verse.
Yeah.
So yeah, time flies. So thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. Maybe we'll be back again for the Andreas Pop Up Talk, where we'll discuss Too Fast, Too Furious next time, which is great. Yeah, and it was Too Fast and Too Furious for that movie. Um, anyway, thank you everyone for listening to this podcast of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Highly recommend watching this movie. Watch it 2 times. It's really great. It's amazing. No pun intended.